It is time to create the second scene. In this first sketch you can see a trophy with icons of sports balls. On the second sketch, it shows the backside. Let us begin by changing units on length to be in centimeters instead of meters. For a fresh start, select and delete everything. Save this file, navigate to same folder we saved the previous work. Name it Scene 02. Add in a cylinder. Set vertices to be 64, radius to be 150 centimeters, and then depth to be 200 centimeters. Add in another cylinder. For this one, make depth 10 centimeters. Adjust the location of this cylinder along the z-axis this way. Make it 105 centimeters on z-axis. Shift-D to duplicate this cylinder, then immediately press Enter key. Set its Z location to be -105 centimeters on z-axis. Select this cylinder and tab into Edit mode. Ctrl-R, then use mouse wheel to increase the cuts to 2. Switch to Edge Select mode, and toggle X-ray. In front orthographic view, select these two edge loops while holding down the Shift key. Press period, then select individual origins. Press S for scale, then 0.9. Press period again, select median point. Press S for scale, then Z, then 2. Go to Face Select mode. Toggle X-ray, then select these middle faces. Press P, separate by selection. Now these two are separate objects. Select this middle object, press slash key to go into its local view. Tab into Edit mode, top orthographic view, then make sure to toggle X-ray. Select these two faces here, and then shift select these opposite ones here as well. After selecting them, press Ctrl+ 10 times. Delete, then Faces. Go to Edge Select mode. Select these edges. Press F to fill a face here. Fill a face at the top as well. Then finally, fill the ones in front and at the back. Select this one here. Go into its local view, tab into Edit mode. Select these open edges and fill them with faces. Select this top cylinder. Add to it a bevel modifier. Set amount to 1 cm and segments to be 4. Let's copy the bevel modifier to other objects in the scene as well. Hold down Shift as you select other objects first, then select the one with the bevel modifier last. On bevel, click on this drop down, then copy to selected. Select all of them, right-click, then shade smooth. Let's do some proper naming to these cylinders to avoid confusion on the outliner. Select this top one, name it to cylinder top. This one, name it to cylinder middle. Select this bottom one, name it to cylinder bottom. Select this middle one, call it cylinder middle sliced. Select cylinder bottom. Tab into Edit mode, and go to Face Select. Select this bottom face here, and switch to front orthographic view. Press E, the face will automatically get extruded along the Z-axis. Set move value to be 40 cm on Z-axis. Press S for scale, then 0.8. Ctrl B to bevel. Set width to be 40 cm and segments to be 7. Select cylinder top. Shift E to duplicate, adjust its Z location to be 115 cm. Set its dimension value both on X and Y to be 290 cm. Ctrl A, then apply scale. Tab into Edit mode, and select this top face. Press I to insert faces, and set thickness to be 110 cm. Move this face up along the Z-axis, set the move value to be 50 cm, on Z. Ctrl B to bevel here. Set width to be 5 cm, and segments to be 3. Select this center face, Shift-S, cursor to selected. Tab out of edit mode. Add in a UV sphere. Reduce its radius to be 15 centimeters. Switch to front orthographic view. Tab into edit mode, and toggle X-ray. Turn on proportional editing, then select these faces. Shape this sphere to get something similar to this. Right-click, and shade smooth. Select cylinder bottom, tab into edit mode. Select this bottom face. Shift-S, cursor to selected, then tab out of edit mode. Add in a cylinder. Adjust radius to be 15 centimeters, and depth to be 100 centimeters. On location, make X and Y values to be 0. Adjust Z location of this cylinder this way. Add a loop cut here. Move this edge loop this way. Undo, turn off proportional editing, then move it again. Set median value on Z-axis to be -15 centimeters. Add a loop cut here as well. Toggle X-ray, then go to face select mode. Select these faces. Press Alt-E, extrude faces along normals. Adjust the offset to be 30 centimeters. Add another loop cut here, then turn on face select mode. Select these faces, then press Alt-E, extrude faces along normals. Adjust the offset to be 30 centimeters. Go to edge select mode. Select this edge loop here. Switch to front orthographic view. Bevel the edge loop, then set width to be 15 centimeters and segments to be 10. Shift select these two edge loops and bevel them. Set width to be 4 centimeters and segments to be 4 as well. Add in a UV sphere and adjust radius to be 30 centimeters. Select and move down this object. Shade smooth this UV sphere and the cylinder here. On this cylinder, check Auto Smooth. Add in a text object. Press R, X, then 90. Tab into edit mode, edit the text to read, Sports, in capital letters. On alignment, set center, on both horizontal and vertical. On font, I suggest Arial Bold Italic, just like what we did in the previous scene. Move it to here. Reduce the size of the font to 0.8. Switch to right orthographic view, then move the text along Y-axis this way. Set its Y location to be -75 centimeters. Add to the text a solidify modifier. Set thickness to be 12 centimeters. Select cylinder middle sliced. Shift-S, then cursor to selected. Add in a cube. Under dimensions, set on X to be 237 centimeters. On Y, 12 centimeters. And on Z, 10 centimeters. Adjust its Y location this way. Switch to right orthographic view and adjust further. On location, set its Y value to be -69 centimeters. Shift-S, then cursor to selected. Add in another cube, and then scale it down. Set the Y dimension to be 5 centimeters, then move it down along the Z-axis this way. Set X and Y dimensions to be 43.8 centimeters. Switch to front orthographic view, and move this cube to the side this way. Add an array modifier to it. Count to be 5 and factor to be 1.1. Set location on X-axis to be -96.5. Let's arrange once more these objects. Select cylinder middle sliced. Shift S, then cursor to selected. Press numpad 1 for front orthographic, then press numpad 9 for back orthographic view. Add in a cylinder. Set vertices to be 64, radius to be 130 cm, and depth to be 120 cm. Go to local view of this new cylinder. Tab into edit mode, then switch to top orthographic view. Go to vertex select mode. We need to cut an edge that will go round this object along the x-axis. Press K for knife tool. Click on this vertex and drag this way. Press X to lock the cut on the x-axis. Then press C to turn on cut through. Press Enter key after getting to the other side. Top orthographic view. X-ray should be toggled, then select this side. Delete, then select faces. Go to edge select mode, select this edge, press F to fill up the open area. Select this back cylinder first, then select this middle one last. On bevel modifier, click on the drop down, then copy to selected. Shade smooth this object. Switch to front orthographic view. Go to Add, Empty, then Plane Axis. Move the empty along the Z-axis this way. Shift S, then cursor to selected. Add in a UV sphere. Set segments to be 20, and rings to be 10. Tab into edit mode, then scale down the sphere. G, for grab, move it to up here. If you tab out of edit mode, you can see the geometry is up here, but its origin is down here. Add an array modifier to it. Set count to be 60, and factor x to be 0. Check object offset, click on the eyedropper, then select this empty here. Select the empty and rotate it by 6 degrees on the Z-axis. Shade smooth the spheres. Disable the modifier in edit mode. Duplicate this sphere, move up here, and then scale it down. Duplicate, bring here, and scale down as well. Select this large one, duplicate, then move it down here. Duplicate it once more, move it to here and scale down slightly. Duplicate, move it to up here, toggle X-ray for more visibility. Duplicate again, scale it down more. Up here, select this one, adjust this way, duplicate once more, then scale it down. If you tab out of edit mode, you can see the results. Let's even add more to this pattern. Select this geometry here, Shift S, then cursor to selected. While still in edit mode, add in a cube. Toggle X-ray, then scale down the cube. Grab the geometry and bring it here. Select these bottom edges and adjust their location this way. Go to face select mode, select this face and pull out this way. Go to edge select mode, select this edge, then press G twice in order to slide it this way. Select and grab to adjust this edges as well. Select this geometry, duplicate, then move it down here this way. Rotate it to get something similar to this. Grab and adjust further if you need to. You can now enable the array modifier in edit mode. Select these two geometry and scale them down along the y-axis if you need to. Hold down Shift for smooth and smaller adjustments. Select, then rename this object to Details. Select this cube with an array, rename it to Cube with Ball Icons. This one, let's call it Cube Bar. Select this one at the base, rename it to Cylinder Base. Select this cylinder at the back, rename it to Cylinder with Banner. Select this one, rename it to Top. Select this bottom sphere, then rename it as well. However, you can select this sphere first, then select this base object last, then press Ctrl J to join them. Rename the final joint object to Base. It's time for shading, but we are going to append materials from the previous project. Go to File, then Append. Navigate to Blender Scenes folder, where Scene 01 is located. Select Scene 01, click on Append. Here, you will look for material. Double-click on material, select these multiple materials while holding down Ctrl key, then Append. If you go to Material Properties, you can already see that the materials are indeed present. Switch to Shading Workspace. Reduce World Opacity to 0. Let's start selecting and assigning materials to these objects in the scene. On this Details object, tab into Edit mode and select this top sphere. Add a new material slot, select Black Material, then Assign. Select this sphere down here, assign it the black material as well. Select the text, give it the text material. Create a second material slot, then select Red. Go to Bevel Modifier, then Expand Materials. On Rim, adjust the value to 1. Select this Cubes, assign Black Material. Apply the Array modifier of this object. Tab into Edit mode, select only these front faces, then switch to Front Orthographic View. Press U to unwrap. Select Project from View. Make this area to be for UV Editor. Let's create another material slot here, click on New, and rename it to Ball Icons. Then click on Assign. On the UV Editor area, navigate to the Resources folder, select this PNG image called Balls. Here, on the Shader Editor, add in an image texture. Select the Balls image, then connect color to base color. On UV area, go to UV Face mode first. Select this face, G, for grab, then move it to the middle of this soccer ball. To increase this area, press Ctrl Space. Hold down Shift key for smaller adjustments. Do the same thing to the other faces as well. Select all the faces. Press period key, then select individual origins. Scale the faces up this way. To reduce this area to normal size, press Ctrl Space once more. You can hide overlays on this side for clarity. Scale up these faces once more. Set the metallic value to 1 and roughness to 0.4. Duplicate this principal BSDF. This is for changing the background color of these icons. Set the base color to be red. Add in a mix shader, then connect it here. Connect this red principled BSDF to the mix shader. Add in a color ramp, put it here, at the top. Connect alpha, from image texture to factor of the color ramp. Then connect color from color ramp, to factor of mix shader. If you want to invert the colors, you simply swap here. This is how the shader nodes look like, in case if I did not come up clearly. Enable overlays in this area. Press /key to go into local view of this object. Select these faces along the curved area. Press U, then unwrap. On the UV editor area, remove this current image because we have to bring in a new image. Click on Open, then navigate to the Resources folder. Select this sports banner image. Create a second material slot. Rename it to Sports Banner. Then assign. On Shader Editor area, add in an image texture, then connect color to base color. On image texture, select the sports banner image. You can see this image is not aligned correctly. Press A to select these faces. Rotate them by -90. We need to scale this UV map from where this 2D cursor is located. Shift S, then select 2D cursor. Control space to increase this area. Press S, then X to lock it horizontally. /key to get out of local view of this object. Set roughness of the sports banner material to be 0.2. Add materials to these objects. I had forgotten to do that earlier. It is now time for lighting. Make this left area to be for 3D viewport. On the right area, change viewport shading to solid. Also, make the viewport shading of left area to be rendered. We shall be using Eevee for preview, because this lighting setup works in cycles as well. On World Properties, set color to be Environment Texture. Click on Open, navigate to Resources folder, select this HDRI image. Reduce strength to 0.3. On Render Properties, expand Film, then check Transparent. Create a new collection, and then rename it to Lights and Camera. You can still go to File, then Append, then select Scene 01 which has lights. The problem with this is that the lights are concentrated at the 3D cursor. We don't want that. Just undo, because I found out another way that works just fine. Open File Explorer, navigate to where Scene 01 is located, then open it. It will open on a separate window. Select all the lights from the outliner, then Ctrl-C to copy. Go back to the window that contains the current file we are working on, that is Scene 01. Make sure that Lights and Camera Collection is selected, then Ctrl-V to paste the lights. On the restriction toggles, turn on Selectable. Now uncheck Selectable on the Lights and Camera Collection. Select the other objects. Lights will not be selected. Adjust the location of these objects along the Z-axis this way. Hold down Shift for smaller adjustments. On Render Properties, expand Shadows, then check High Bit Depth. It is now time for animation. Switch to Animation Workspace. Shift S, cursor to World Origin. Switch to front orthographic view. Then go to Add, then Camera. Switch to right orthographic view, bring in this side panel. Set the Y location of this camera to be -500 centimeters. If you are trying to select this camera but you are not seeing any effect, you need to make lights and camera collection selectable. Set the focal length of this camera to be 30 mm. Go to Add, Empty, then Sphere. Scale up this empty sphere, then Ctrl-A, apply scale. Duplicate this empty, bring it up here, and scale it down. Ctrl-A, and apply scale. Select this empty first, then small empty last while holding down Shift. Ctrl-P, set parent to object. Select camera first, then select this big empty last, Ctrl-P, set parent to object. Rename this empty to Empty Main. Select this one, rename it to Empty Camera. On this area on the left, switch to Camera View. Select Empty Camera, bring it up this way. Set the end of this animation to be at 120. Let's also set the frame rate to be 30 frames per second. Select Empty Main, go to frame 20. Set rotation on Z to be 180 degrees, then record a keyframe. Go to frame 1, set rotation on Z to be 90 degrees, then record a keyframe. These first two keyframes are for transitional purposes. Go to frame 50, just record a keyframe. Go to frame 80, set Z rotation to be 380 degrees, then record a keyframe. Select Empty Camera. Go to frame 1, record a keyframe on rotation. Go to frame 120, set rotation on the X-axis to be 15 degrees, then record a keyframe. Go to frame 1, then select the camera, record a keyframe on location. Go to frame 100, set location on Y-axis to be -660 centimeters, and record a keyframe. Here at frame 100, adjust the Y location value, -600 centimeters is fine. Record a keyframe. On frame 120, set Y location to be -1000 centimeters. This last two keyframes are for transitioning to the next scene, which will be scene 03. I had said earlier that these first two keyframes on Empty Main are for transitioning from scene 01. Press Ctrl-Tab to bring Graph Editor. Click on Normalize. The first two keyframes should be selected. Press period, then select individual origins. Press S, then X, then 1.5. Select the camera, the last two keyframes should be selected. Again, press S, then X, then 1.5. Offset these keyframes forward by 10 frames. Select Empty Main, then offset these keyframes backward by 10 frames. Ctrl-Tab to bring in the timeline, and offset the keyframes from here if the graph editor was not clear. Select Empty Main, then select this last keyframe, switch to Graph Editor. Select this handle and drag, press X to lock only on horizontal adjustments. Select this object with the sports banner. Go to frame 20, then record a keyframe. Go to frame 1, set Z rotation to 90 degrees. Switch the timeline to Graph Editor, and ease the last keyframe. Let's meet in the next video to do scene 03.